Hi guys, this is Klazart, another audio commentary, and this is the Shinahan Bank Winners League Game 4 of the matchup between CJ and OGN, Set 4. The results of the previous games will be spoiled in this, so watch them beforehand if you haven't already. Xavier just having trounced, absolutely destroyed Type B, a Zerg player from OGN, who was probably still... he was probably going and rubbing some lotion on his bottom after that spanking he's received. It's probably quite dry and red. Sorry for those of you who are left with a horribly disgusting mental image, which I won't elaborate on further. Anyway, this is Xavier versus Lita. Lita's quite a decent little Terran player who's been around a little while for OGN. Hasn't really shined through, hasn't really pushed up to the next tier. And this matchup is being played on Tau Cross, and I feel this is a map that's going to suit Xavier's style of play. Xavier loves those big open spaces in the middle of the map where he can run rings around his Terran opponents. And I'm really looking forward to watching this, because so far this season I haven't really seen Xavier play against Terran. That's really been his forte in the past. He's just been so dominating against Terran players who seem to destroy everyone else but don't seem to have an answer against him. That being said, he has also at times come unstuck against Terran players, and Lita just sending that early SCV out, looks like to scout Lita at the top right hand corner of the map, and Lita's SCV pause in the middle. He might be trying something clever here, but Xavier's Overlord is also heading in this direction. Lita's got his SCV pause there, and he might be trying to pull an early Rax down. Lita is going to put that Rax down in the middle of the map, but this is going to be disaster for Lita. This is going to be GG right here if Xavier scouts this. Obviously, Tau Cross being a 3-player map, if this was a 4-player map, he would have had better success pulling it off, and I don't know, I mean, you've got to question the wisdom of that, because Xavier could just, even if Xavier would have scouted the wrong base, his Overlord could easily have passed over that middle section, and Xavier, I think obviously this is intentional for Xavier. If he had just straight away right-clicked over the other base, he might not have gone so close to the middle, but you can see from Xavier's first-person view mode that you can see the red blob on the mini-map. You can see that Xavier has seen that Rax, and Xavier now straight away putting the spawning pool down once he's seen that, and this is going to be disastrous for Lita. I don't think this is a great choice of strategy personally from him. As I said again, on a 4-player map, this would have probably been a lot more effective. But Lita's really committed himself here with that early barracks, and he's gonna expose himself, because Xavier's gonna be able to really put some pressure on him. Lita obviously want to try and push some pressure early on Xavier and prevent him from getting that natural going. He's obviously gonna need to scout Xavier as well, and that's gonna be the other factor here, whether or not he's gonna. He's seen that Overlord, he's seen the direction that the Overlord is having. Xavier trying to divert the Overlord in the opposite direction to try and confuse Lita, but unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to do that in time. Xavier had sent a drone out as well, I think, to try and scout exactly where Lita's base is. He's sending a couple more drones out. Looks like Xavier's going to try and put his natural down anyway. Lita with the SCV just battling against Xavier's drones. And Xavier has got about 3 drones out there. Lita with only a single Marine. And Lita's got to know that Xavier scouted his racks, because Xavier at the very least... Well, actually, Lita's might not be sure. Maybe that's why he's holding back that Marine, because he knows that Xavier's Overlord was drifting past. He knows that Xavier's Overlord saw his SCV. The question is, he doesn't think, or he probably is not 100% certain that Xavier has spotted the racks as well, and this is just going to be completely disastrous for Lita. This is not, and Xavier has now got the Zerglings out, and now the game has to be up, and Lita's floated that racks up as well, so really that Gambit not serving Lita well, not paying off for him, and he's behind now. Okay, you can argue that he's going to have his tech out, and really he's realized, Lita's lifted that Rax up because he's realized that Xavier spotted his Rax and countered him, and so therefore he straight away decided to switch to tech and now forced to block off his choke. But Xavier's going to have the economic advantage here, and Lita, even though he's going to prolong this game, I think Xavier's got a huge advantage now against Lita, because Lita committed himself, and Xavier now putting the 3rd hatchery down, realizing that Lita's going to be behind her, and Xavier not taking his extractor as well. The only hope Lita has is if he can effect some sort of drop or some sort of maneuver with trying to get ahead of Xavier in tech and trying to do some damage. But he's just going to be up against the 8 ball here the whole time. He's just going to be trying to catch up, and I'm just not sure if he's going to be able to. Xavier, meanwhile, has confirmed Lita's location by sending his Overlord over to the 10 o'clock base, so he knows where Lita's base is, and Xavier's putting his first creep colony down, obviously realizing that the only chance Lita has is affecting some early damage against him. So Xavier sending his defenses up just in case. Usually you don't see Xavier doing that early on, but it's wise of him to get that one sunken up, just because he knows that if a vulture sneaks through, it can deal immeasurable damage to a Zerg player with the micro. So just the one sunken, just for reassurance. Xavier at his prime doesn't build sunkens until very late. He keeps the Zerglings out there, keeps an eye on his opponent's strategy, keeps an eye on his opponent's build, and puts the Sunkens down at the very last moment and maximizes his resource use. Obviously, on this occasion, it's a wise move by Xavier, because that Vulture's not going to get anywhere and not going to really be able to do any harass. Saber with a couple of Zerglings as well to back it up, and that third hatchery. So he's blocked quite effectively. Obviously, Lita with the racks floating over Savior's base, and Savior now taking to lair. And the question for me is going to be, is Lita going to be in a position to really defend against Savior's 3-hatch Mutalisks that are going to be coming out with the 2 gas that Savior's going to have? Savior now putting a second extractor down. And Lita really completely paralyzed. He's lost all the initiative. He's not able to put any pressure on Savior whatsoever. And really, Savior, without harassing, without overcommitting himself or doing anything at all, has really put Lita on the back foot. Lita now building his natural... building his command center to take his natural inside his main, but unfortunately for Lita, he's just so far behind, it's just a question of whether he's going to be able to defend that. I'm not sure if this is a great move. I think Lita should probably have committed himself more for an all-in strategy, just got all-in tech and devoted all his resources to try and deliver some sort of hammer blow to Savior. I just don't think that he's in a position where he can try and come back in terms of his economy, because now that he's putting that command center down, he's going to have a much wider area that he's going to have to defend against Savior's godlike Mutalisk micro, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see a Spire going down for Savior right here, and Savior's Spire does go down. The other problem for Lita is he doesn't know exactly what Savior's build is, short of knowing that Savior put that expansion on. I'm sure he's going to anticipate the Mutalisks coming out. He's putting the second factory down now as well, and Savior's getting that Overlord in there, sacrificing that Overlord just to spy out Lita's build. I'm not sure if he's seen that command center floating over towards the Natural Expo. He's probably spotted it out, but Lita's going to be in huge trouble, and the Overlord just goes down. Lita with the 1 factory machine shop, the 2nd factory. He's going to try and make some sort of push here before Savior can really get going. Savior's got the Hardless Den up as well. It'll be interesting to see if Savior produces a couple of lurkers as well. He's just putting some spider mines down around the map, and Savior has got a couple of Hardless out. So interesting by Savior here. He's not conserving all of his gas. Maybe he's anticipating that Lita might try and sneak a drop in of some sort. Lita obviously put down the armory because he hasn't gone for an engineering base, so he realizes that he needs to have Goliaths at the very least. But the problem on a map like this, especially when you've expanded as a Terran player, it's incredibly difficult to hold off Mutalisk harass, which is Goliaths alone, because of the travel time between the 2 bases. 3rd factory now going down for Lita, realizing that he's going to need to pump up this Goliaths. And try and defend this fledgling economy that he's got building here. Savior, meanwhile, continue to produce more Hydroliths. It'll be interesting to see if Savior uses an Overlord to just drop those Hydroliths over his base onto the outside and tries and catches Lita off guard with Lurkers. Lita obviously doesn't have anything to spot Lurkers with. He obviously is not anticipating that at all. So this might be a stroke of genius by Savior if he can pull that out, because Lita does not have an academy. He does not have... neither does he have anywhere near getting a science facility, and Savior hiding those Hydroliths, but that indeed it looks like what Savior is going to do, but Lita just might be able to spot that in time. He might be able to spot those hidden lurkers of Savior's. Savior's now got the Mutalisks out, so Savior's going to try and pull that racks out, because Savior's hidden those Hydroliths away. He doesn't want Lita to realize that he's got any Hydroliths, because he's going to use them as a trump card, for a second there I thought Savior wasn't going to build any Mutalisks at all, and going to try and have, but obviously Savior didn't have an Overlord in position to actually push those Hydroliths over, but I think those Hydroliths are going to get spotted out. Lita knows that something's up, and surely by now he's seen those Hydroliths, so Savior might as well bring those Hydroliths in to try and finish the racks off, and Lita, obviously not moving the racks anymore, has seen those Hydroliths from Savior, so Savier's not going to be able to surprise him. He has got the engineering bay up as well. Obviously didn't see it being built in his Natural Expo. He's got a couple of turrets up as well, and I think this is not a great move by Savior, building the Hydroliths and hiding them in his base. I think he would have been better off just going all out Mutalisks and harassing his opponent and limiting his opponent's economy, and he's really given Lita maybe a hint of a window back into the game here, but Lita very much on the defense, and now he's got about 5 Goliaths. He's going to keep them in his base still because he hasn't got enough turrets up. He's got a couple of turrets up in his Natural Expo. He's got about 5 Goliaths. He should be in a comfortable position to defend. Savior not pushing out, so Savior making a tier 2 push with Hydroliths and Mutalisks. I thought Savior was going to try and morph Lurkers, but perhaps he was just going to go for a Hydroliths Mutalisk push, that can be quite effective against Goliaths and tanks. Obviously, Medic and Marines just cut Hydroliths to pieces, but against Goliaths, it's going to be a lot more effective than I suppose Mutal Ling. So Lita forced to pull back. Lita doesn't have siege mode. Crucially for Lita, he does not have siege mode, and that means that Savior's going to be able to get right in there and pick that first tank off and micro those Hydroliths well, and the tank goes down without siege mode, and that has to be a mistake. I guess that's the power of keeping those Hydroliths concealed by Savior. He went for the attack as soon as he saw, but Lita, the moment he spotted those Hydroliths, should have been researching siege mode. I guess he just didn't have time to get that up and realized just been wiped the floor with. Savior just wiping the floor. And oh my god, and the second siege tank gets killed the moment it pops out. Assassin-like accuracy from Savior in his attacking and his strategic play. I have to apologize for doubting his strategy at all. I thought he was going to go for the Lurkers and try and sneak the Lurkers in, but clearly he was just going for attack with Mutalisk and Hydrolist, anticipating that his opponent would be going mech. Genius by Savior. Genius. People say Savior is arrogant, but when you play like this, I think you've got a right to be. Brilliance. Absolute brilliance. Great game of StarCraft. And Lita exhaling, asking himself, what did I do wrong? Well, I think the answer to that is that Raxi put down in the middle of the map on a three base map. But other than that, just Savior's genius powering him there. This is KlazartSC, guys. Thanks for listening. What a great game of StarCraft.